Trump lists Democrat-led cities as he doubles down on suggesting federal election controls. Incredible stuff here. I love the Democratic response, which has been, but what about the Constitution?
Does Donald Trump need a copy of the Constitution?
Down on his calls to nationalize elections, specifically citing districts he lost in 2020. He says he wants the federal government to take charge, even though that could violate the Constitution. Nancy Cordes has more from the White House.
After the president floated the idea on a podcast of nationalizing elections, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt attempted to clarify.
What the president was referring to is the SAVE Act, which is a huge common sense piece of legislation that Republicans have supported. It provides very common sense measures for voting in our country, such as...
I love common sense. It's my favorite. Common sense, not so common, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, after all, it's just common sense, right? It's just common sense that we commandeer elections at the federal level and completely control it so that we never have elections ever again, or real elections ever again. I mean, democracy is a lie anyway.
Voter ID.
But just hours later in the Oval Office, the president appeared to double down on the idea of the federal government taking over elections in some states. He didn't mention voter ID law.
If a state can't run an election, I think the people behind me should do something about it.
Trump then listed a number of Democrat-led cities like Detroit and Atlanta, where he thinks the federal government should step in.
Look at some of the places.
Crashed my car into a cop, got out and said common sense, they let me go. Dude, if you say it 3 times, they give you their service weapon. Did you know that?
It's a horrible corruption on elections, and the federal government should not allow that. The federal government should get involved. These are agents of the federal government to count the votes. If they can't count the votes legally and honestly, then somebody else should take over.
Trump's accusations of widespread voter fraud in places he lost in 2020 have repeatedly been debunked.
We've searched for like literally an entire location,
including in Atlanta, where new body cam video obtained by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution shows FBI.
Dude, it's got to be really funny becoming an FBI agent, be Mormon, become an FBI, go to college, go to Harvard or Yale Law School, become a lawyer, become a prosecutor, eventually make your way to the Federal Bureau of Investigations, think you're going to be like combating, I don't know, sex traffickers and taking out the real bad guys, okay? And then they send your ass to Georgia. They send your ass to Georgia so you can like harass election workers and also protect Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirators. What a fantastic life. You grew up watching movies thinking that you were going to be the good guy. And it turns out you are literally the bad guy. Because, like, this is the FBI. This is the FBI. Like, these aren't, this isn't like ICE, okay? This is mostly lawyers, like very well-educated people. That's why it's, like, considered the woke agency, even though it's obviously not if you look at its history. A lot of infiltration of groups that are considered subversive, but like there's this notion that like you're supposed to be tackling the real crimes, and then you join, and they're like, "Hey, we found an autistic Muslim 16-year-old. You need to get in his DMs right now and make him commit an act of terror, or make him think that he's going to commit an act of terror. Really coerce him, really persuade him." And then so we can arrest him and make it seem like you're doing something good. And he's like, all right, I don't fully understand why I'm supposed to be doing this, but sure, fuck it, why not? And then after you're done with that, they're like, hey, now you have to LARP as a child and manage the largest trove of child sexual abuse material on the planet. And you're like, wait, what? Okay, at least like we're arresting files, that's fine. And then they're like, psych, just kidding. You are managing the largest trove of child sexual abuse material, and you're defending the files as long as they're super wealthy files. Just kidding. You're going to be defending all of Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirators now. That's your job now. Your job is to protect the files. And you're like, what the f? Also, your boss is Dan Bongino and Kash Patel. I would fucking kill myself, okay? I'd be like, I went to college for 8 years, worked up the ranks, watched so many movies and TV shows where I was like, You know, my dream career is me being the good guy and arresting pedophiles. And now you're making me protect the pedophiles because the podcaster pedophilia presidency has decided this is what we're doing. Are you serious? I don't understand how there isn't like a hot mutiny inside of the FBI on a daily basis. You know, people doing desk pops and shit. Like people just you know, engaging in the time old tradition of the same stuff that maybe some Vietnam soldiers in Vietnam that were drafted were doing, you know. But FBI style is pretty crazy.
Tragically, this pattern keeps on happening. Now, Senator Booker also said we should have bipartisan agreement. I think that's a great idea. We should have bipartisan agreement. How about we all come together and say, let's stop murders? How about we all come together and say, let's stop rape? How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles?
This is an old video, but it's really funny. Isn't this an old video? Wait, did he do it again? Because this says countdown to government shutdown. This is the last time, right? This is an old video. This is an old video. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I remember watching this at the time. Yeah, it's an old video. Yeah, Ted came out, said the quiet part out loud. Anyway, now this is what the FBI is doing, taking time out of their busy day to protect elite files. Now they're doing this. They're storming the Georgian election facilities.
Agents searching a Fulton County election center last week. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard said Trump personally thanked the agents in a phone call she facilitated after the search. Trump's comments about a federal election takeover have sparked alarm among Democrats.
The notional idea that he will ask his loyalists to do something inappropriate.
This is awesome. Yeah, it's not going to happen, guys. We're going to write him multiple sternly worded letters, and then you will see. You understand me? When we fucking do that, Breaking Starmer resigned. Wait, shut the fuck up. No, he didn't. Why would you debate me like that? Oh, no, he didn't. You fucking asshole. You debated me. You fucking asshole. You debated me. It's from June 27, 2016. You fucking asshole. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. You got me so stoked for a second. God damn it, dude. Because we just saw that news coverage I briefly mentioned because of his like connections to Mendelsohn. Knowing that Mendelsohn was like Epstein affiliated and still continue to work with him. God damn, that was good. You fucking son of a bitch.
Beyond the Constitution scares the heck out of me.
Even some Republicans gently pushed back.
Everybody understands that the states are in charge of administering
Mods, shoot that guy.
elections.
Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson backed the president, saying Trump was just expressing frustration about election integrity. Johnson and his party are pushing for a bill that would require national voter ID. Democrats oppose it, arguing that safeguards to prevent the wrong people from voting already exist. Gail?
Hey, Nancy, before you go, we all know that partial government shutdown ended yesterday. What can you tell us about that?
Yes, the lights are back on. President Trump signed a massive funding bill that covers most government agencies all the way through September. 21 Democrats helping Speaker Mike Johnson secure enough votes for that bill, which included a Department of Homeland Security funding deadline of February 14th, a couple weeks from now, to negotiate reforms to immigration enforcement operations. That's something that Democrats were demanding.
Isn't that Mendelsohn guy gay? I forgot my UK politics lore. Yes.
Though if that deadline isn't met, and there are a lot of deadlines that aren't met on Capitol Hill, ICE is not going to shut down right away. It's covered by funding from the big, beautiful bill that Trump signed last year, Gail.
All right, Nancy, to be continued for sure. Thanks a lot.
To the writhing
Yeah, government shutdown was partial, chat. It was partial. It wasn't a full-blown shutdown. It's not a full-blown shutdown because they're pussies.